Hello, everyone. My name is Alicia Buckley, and I am Program Director with the Aboriginal Friendship Centers of Saskatchewan. I oversee the Indigenous women and gender diverse programs, and I'm happy to get this initiative off the ground. I'm a member of the Buffalo River Dene Nation, and as a daughter of Treaty 6 and Treaty 10, I just want to welcome you wherever you're coming from on Turtle Island and, of course, the homeland of the Métis. I'll have my colleague Cerise introduce herself.
Hi, everybody. My name is Sarisa Landers, and I am the founder and CEO of Aura. And you're going to hear all about Aura. So just appreciate you being here and listening in. And thank you to Alicia and the Aboriginal Friendship Center for this opportunity to be able to work with everyone on this really important initiative.
Perfect. So first, I'll start with a little bit of context of the initiative, and then we'll have Cerise share a little bit more about the devices, and of course, we can get into questions afterwards. So, as part of the Indigenous Women's Safety Initiative, we wanted to provide some information sessions. So here we are today, and to ensure that there's a really good understanding of how the project is going and what it is, how to use the devices, and of course answer any questions. Back when this was just a thought or an idea, AFCS is a member of the Saskatoon Indigenous Community Action Partnership, and there was some opportunities of learning about Aura, but unfortunately, COVID-19 hit, and those opportunities had to be postponed. But then that's when AFCS started seeing more and more violent situations against women, especially around missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and Two-Spirit, increase in intergenerational violence, and including mental illness. So we needed to get something off the ground to really support our Indigenous women and 2S LGBTQ plus people. So that's when we entered into a partnership a little bit more formally with SciCap and Aura, and develop a pilot about a women's initiative. So realizing that these tragedies happen every day, try to reduce these risks. So we applied for emergency community support funding and were successful. We used the money to purchase quite a few Aura devices, but then also develop some safety tools as well as explore indigenizing ways of wearing the technology. With this really unique pilot, we were able to purchase them and have distributed devices across communities that our networks go to, which will then be used to give to Indigenous women and 2S LGBTQ people who could really most benefit from the device. So we really encouraged our friendship centers and some of our partners to think about maybe some staff or volunteers, clients, elders, adults, or youth that would be able to connect to a smartphone device, but really help improve their quality of life through safety. Each community was given a number of devices with different types, whether it's a necklace or a lanyard or a belt loop, which I'll have Cerise kind of explain a little bit more in a bit. But now we're really getting underway and working with Indigenous women designers to develop a few new ways of wearing them, whether it be wristbands or medicine pouches, beaded medallions, things like that. So in addition to the device, we've also developed some resources that we want to share with participants. And that includes an information page with some safety resources on the back, safety planning toolkit, as well as a personal medicine wheel that our Honoring Her Spark framework looks at, that really identify personal goals, and of course, a participant agreement form. So in that form, we're asking participants to sign them and have them sent back to AFCS, but to consider having a friendship center staff or a shelter staff be a member of their contacts, and then also vice versa, we encourage staff to do the same and be a contact. Once we get all the agreements sent back to us, whether it's by email or by mail, we'll keep all this information very confidential and only used to contact participants for feedback. So with the feedback, we're going to be doing a series of 3 quick online surveys, and that'll take place over the next year. But we'll just be able to provide a quick survey link, and it shouldn't take very long. We also ask that participants be engaged at their local friendship center and kind of enjoy or join programs that they have to offer for Indigenous women, youth, and families. A couple things just to keep in mind about the project. This is a pilot, so we know that the need of personal safety devices is much greater than we can currently provide, but it is also giving an emergency button to somebody who could really use that in an emergency situation. And it also provides that confidence and empowers them, and of course increases our holistic well-being as Indigenous women. Again, this is a pilot, so we're happy to provide Aura with a little bit more feedback, and realizing that rural and remote locations are really hard to get these devices out to, we encourage them to be tested all over Saskatchewan. And then of course, due to the sensitive nature of this initiative, we just want to reiterate that the importance of keeping the devices to yourself. So not having images of them that are shared. This is just to protect Indigenous women or 2S LGBTQ who are in vulnerable situations. And of course, not to tip off offenders to see what to look for. So we just want to make sure too that there's no cost to centers or participants, that this is something that we're taking on through the funds that we're able to gather and be able to provide it. And of course, participants are able to take away the devices once the project is done to keep. So with that, I'll pass it over to Cerise.
Wonderful. Well, thank you, Alicia. And again, thank you again for this opportunity. I have to say, when I first started Aura, when I created it, I built it for my dad specifically in mind, and keeping him safe in our little hometown in the Southwest. And I never would have thought that it would grow and develop and it would find a place here. And I'm blown away by it, and I'm incredibly grateful that we're given this opportunity, but also very proud that we're hopefully going to be able to save some people. So I'm super excited about this. So what is Aura? Aura is wearable safety devices, personal wearable safety devices that you pair with a phone that gives you the ability to call for help when you need it the most. So when somebody is in a situation where they can't get to their phone, they need somebody to know that they're in distress, they need help, all they need to do is push a button and their contacts will be notified. These are example of a couple of the types of holders. So there's the jewelry. Alicia and I are each wearing one color of the jewelry, but not everybody is into jewelry. So it can be worn as a belt loop clip. Here's an example of one, or a pendant that you'd wear under your shirt, or it can even be popped out, the actual technology part of it. And some people put it in their bra, wherever it is that it can go. And as Alicia mentioned, we're looking at other different types of holders for it. But the idea that it's very discreet. And so you've got your device, you pair it with your phone, you set up an app, you pair it with that app, you set up your contacts, test it out, and really you're good to go. It's pretty straightforward. And so that's what this presentation is going to be, is just to give you a sense of how it works and what to expect. So here's a quick overview. You may recognize the person in the photo. Just again, you pick which device it is that you're wearing, pair it to your phone. It's going to work anywhere that there's cellular coverage. So everywhere that you go, As Alicia mentioned, there's going to be some spots where there's no cell coverage, then this won't work, but it will work wherever there's cell coverage. In the event that somebody isn't feeling safe and needs to call for help, there's a button on the back of the device that literally just press the button and it's going to send out an alert to those contacts that they set up. Those contacts, their phone will make an alarming noise. They won't miss it, believe me, it's quite jarring. They'll open up the app and they'll see who is having the alert, and it'll also give their GPS location so they know where they're located. Now, they'll be instructed to call that person back. If they can't reach them, then after 2 minutes, then the device instructs the phone to call 911 as a backup. And through this whole process, all the contacts will be kept up to date. So that's just a brief overview to give you a sense of how this works. Let's dive a little deeper into each one of those steps. All right, so I've got my device, it's paired to my phone. I'm in an emergency, I press the button, it works through the app in my phone, and it simultaneously sends out an alert to all the contacts I've pre-identified that we've set up. So if Alicia is one of my contacts, she knows already because she's also downloaded the app. She also knows she's a contact of mine here. So I press the button, she gets it. And if I have other people, my husband and maybe a couple of other friends, they all get it at the same time. They all get that alert. They all hear that emergency. They're going to try to call me back. And if they call me back and they reach me and I answer the phone, that alert is stopped. But if they try to call me and I cannot get to my phone, it's a bad scenario, I cannot get to my phone, then after 2 minutes, my device tells my phone to wake up and call 911, no matter what. Even if it's locked, even if it's, sleeping, whatever the case may be, it'll make that 911 backup phone call. This is the screen that I see as a wearer. And so you'll see a countdown and you won't miss it. It's going to buzz. My phone will make noise. I also silence it. You're going to know that you set off the alert. And when you open up the app, you're going to see this. So if by chance you accidentally set it off, it's not easy to, but we've actually heard more about kids setting it off, like your 2-year-old or your toddler gets a hold of it and presses the button. That's usually what happens, and you'll know then. But if it's accidentally set off, you can see the cancel alert button right there. You've got 2 minutes, cancel the alert, it's done. But you can also see how much time that you have as well. And Alicia, feel free, if I miss something that's important, jump in and tell me or ask and I can clarify.
I think there's just one thing that I noticed is that too,
Yep.
the device itself, it will buzz, it will vibrate, but there's also a way in the app to silence it. So it'll still vibrate, but it won't make that alarming noise either. So
exactly.
It's a good way to just be a little bit more discreet as well.
Exactly. So it really depends on the person and their circumstance. If they're in an environment where they have an abuser and they don't want them to know that they pressed the button, then they should put it on silent. But for some people, having that alarming noise on their phone as well, it says, hey, just so you know, back off because I have called and I've set off an alert. And then they know. I've had people argue both sides of that. I can't say which one is right. I think you need to decide on your own. It's decided in advance. You can't do it in the moment, but it's something to consider. Do I want this to be an alarm on my phone as well, or don't I? Good point. Now, if you are a contact, so in this case, this would be Alicia and other people, and I've changed my name to Dorothy, and I set off the alert. This is what they're going to see. So Alicia's phone is going to be also making that loud alarm noise. She's going to open it up. She's going to see who it is. She click taps on that notification. It'll take her directly to this screen. That's who she's going to see is having the alert and where they're located with an address, if possible. I'm from rural Saskatchewan. I get it. I didn't even realize that my house had a house number or street name. I don't even think it exists anywhere. So in some cases, this isn't going to make sense, but it'll at least give the lat long. It'll give the area. It's a map that you can zoom in and out. So you'll at least be able to see where they're located. And you will also see the button. So you don't have to go hunting around looking for my number. You literally just click that and that will phone me. It'll pick up, pull up the phone and it'll pull up my number, and you just hit dial and away you go. So you don't have to look for that person's phone number. And then there's this news feed. This news feed here is real time, and it shows what's going on all the time. So it'll show that I've started alert. It would show if my husband was calling me. So Alicia can see Mark is calling Cerise. It will show if I picked up the phone. It will show if I called 911. So that's my live news feed is all in there. And there's also an ability to communicate back and forth. So let's say Alicia gets a hold of me, and whatever happened has happened, it's over and I'm safe, but she's going to come over and check it out. She knows that I've got a few contacts. She's going to type in there. So he says, okay, but I'm going to go over and see everything is fine, just so that the rest of the group, is kind of kept up to speed. So that's what that group chat is for. All right. Alicia, if you want to take the first point.
So we really encourage friendship centers or our partner shelter to have a staff person consider being in contact. We just want to make sure that in the event that they are a client or a volunteer, that there is somebody there that can help as an additional just backup contact.
Great. And the contacts, it's unlimited. You can have as many people as you want, and you can add people, you can remove them, mute them, whatever the case may be. So it's not a once and done thing. It's very fluid. You just keep who it is that you need to be in there. So for the contacts, if somebody's in emergency, again, we recommend you click on that, call that person directly. If there's no response, if they don't answer the phone, just watch that news feed. So either it's going to, that 2 minutes is going to go down and that backup 911 is going to be called, another contact is going to reach them, or they're going to cancel it because it could be a false alarm, right? So if you don't see if they don't answer, just look to see on the news feed as to what's going on. Now, if you see that 911 is called, we recommend that you also call 911 and say, my friend, my sister, you should have received a call from this number. This is who it is, and these are the circumstances. Just because it gives them a bit more information, they're going to take it from there, but you don't know what that scenario is, right? Like, you don't know if they're going to be able to talk on the phone to 911. We don't know. So if you have some more information to provide 911, generally that's helpful. So just something to consider. And again, that app, the texting part, make sure to update everybody if you do find out any information, because people are going to be wondering what's going on. Okay. The app itself is pretty straightforward. It again depends if you're an Android user, an iOS user, where these buttons are. On the bottom, I forget if this is iOS or Android, and the top for the other. But you click on your device to see the green is you're charged, how much battery, green is good, it's good to go. When you set up your contacts, you just go to the My Contacts, add a contact, you type in their cell number, and done. Now you should tell them what's going on, because if they get a random text that says you've been invited to be a contact for Aura and they don't know what Aura is, they'll probably think it's spam and delete it. So give them a heads up, say, hey, you're going to get a text for this, download the app, that sort of a thing. And then you'll have your list of contacts here. So it's pretty straightforward. As a contact, you're going to have your dashboard view where you can see, this is not a tracking app, but it does show if they've been using it or are using it and they're connected. It does, make sure the account is active and that you're receiving alerts. You probably won't ever go here, but if you do, it's just something that you can see. And that's also where you click on that dashboard at any time to get a sense of what's going on. Now the device itself, it on the back of it here, as you can see either place, there's a couple of indicators that let you know what's going on. So the big thing is the panic button. It's simple, like you just press it. You'll feel it's kind of indented, but also in it, there's a light that blinks. So that status light just lets you know what's happening. If it's green, it's good. If it's blue, it means a couple things. It could be that you've got a low battery. It could be that you're disconnected. Could be a lot of different things. So if you see blue, you just go to the app and the app will tell you, okay, check this, check that, check your Bluetooth, check, etc. You would only see the reddish orange color when you press the button. So if you do see that color, then that it should also be vibrating. And very seldom do people notice that color because it's generally green or blue that they're going to see. Also, you're going to see those 4 brass pins. That's the charging point. So the charger is very straightforward. It literally just clicks on by magnet, and that's how you charge it. The battery lasts, it will last longer than your cell phone for sure. Lasts about 3 to 4 days, depending on if you've been in contact with it or not. Like if you separate from it for a long period of time, it's always looking, so that drains the battery. But again, it'll outlast how long your phone needs to be charged in. What am I missing here, Alicia?
No, I think you're getting all the good points.
Okay. All right. Oh, it also does, when you get to low battery, it'll buzz you and tell you that it's low battery. Sometimes gives me a bit of a heart attack, but if you feel it buzz, just one quick buzz, it's probably low battery. You'll see that blue blink. Go and check it out. So it works on, as I said, Android and iPhones, and they don't have to be the latest, greatest versions. So it gives you a sense here of how this is, and make sure that you've got the most recent operating system on it as well. It pairs by Bluetooth to the phone. So you need to be in Bluetooth range. So think like when you start your car, it's got to be in that sort of range. The phone doesn't have to be on you and beside you, but there can't be, like, you can have it can work for a long period, but if there's anything in between, like walls and glass and metal, it'll obscure it. So it works in most houses and apartments, that sort of thing, but you're going to need to take them both when you go somewhere. It's also, I wouldn't say waterproof because you can't go deep diving with it, but it's pretty waterproof. So don't worry about it if it accidentally goes through the washing machine, or take it in the bath if you need to. Those sorts of things are fine. All right, setting up, pretty simple. Download the app. You'll find it on the Play Store or App Store, and it sends you a password by text link. So at the very least, you're going to need to be in Wi-Fi in this, and it's going to use data. So you need to be in Wi-Fi or data, although that backup call works, by the way, no matter what. In Saskatchewan or in Canada, I believe 911 always works, even if you don't have a data plan. So, but for full functionality, you need Wi-Fi or data. So you download the app and just follow the instructions as you go. Make sure to always allow notifications. Always, and every pop-up that comes up in Android is really brutal because it will ask you 14 different ways, but always allow, because this is all about notifications, about notifying missed check-ins, about notifying alerts, it's about notifying everything. So this is a notification type of an app. When you first set up, we recommend that you do a test once before you set up your contacts. So that you don't, again, cause any heart attacks out there. Press the button, hear how it works, cancel the alert. Got lots of time, but then it gives you a feeling for like what to expect. Then add your contacts and test it with your contacts. Press the button, have them call you back, go through that. I really recommend it. And the reason why we recommend it, A, you want to make sure everything's working properly, but B, because when you're in an emergency, you want to know how it works, and you want to know that it's going to work. So test it. Just test it. And if you go a couple of months and you forget about stuff, test it again. So please. And if you have troubles pairing, if you have trouble, you're not sure how it works, whether you're Aboriginal Friendship Center staff or whoever you are, if you're a user or contact or whatever, everybody, call us, email us, text us, just come to us. We have FAQs on the website. But whatever you do, don't hesitate. Just reach out at any time. We've got staff here to help you out. We're in Saskatchewan. I'm in Saskatoon. We're all here. I'm happy to help in any way we can. Alicia, what did I miss?
No, I think you touched on all the great points. One thing that I do want to just share too is that the app will actually look at a little bit of your profile. So there's a really cool feature of including your pictures. So in case there is something that does happen, there's the most recent updated picture for you, for your contacts to use. So it's really easy. That dashboard stays up. I know here at AFCS, our staff are in part of the initiative, and we're all each other's contacts as well, so we all can see who's using it and what's going on. And it's also nice to see how long people go between either charging it, or it shows you how many days they haven't moved. So when the device is just sitting and waiting, I know working from home, I didn't wear it as often as I needed to, and actually we had somebody just comment saying, hey, you haven't touched it in a few days. So it's nice to see that people can still be in touch with you, although it doesn't give you an exact location. It just says and shows your contacts what's kind of going on. I really enjoy that this is a Saskatchewan company, and I really enjoy that we're trying to empower all Indigenous women, but all women in general. So this is something that we can just, again, it's a pilot, and we'll see how it goes. And of course, try to continue and build this initiative to incorporate more and more. So please feel free to reach out if there's any questions or comments. Participants will have my contact information, and then also the devices have a little card inside that you can easily grab all that information as well.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.